I think that's a good point in that, we ran the story initially July 27th, whatever that Monday was or something like that. After the initial story ran with Karen in it, I think I got maybe 2, 3 emails. No, I got about, it was probably about 10 emails from viewers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Good job, stay on it, whatever. Then the mayor calls his press conference the next day where he blamed the recovery on us and everything. I got like 150 emails. Like and then we go on and do follow-up stories, and I get a lot of emails, but then we do the interview with the mayor at the Sheraton Hotel, and I get like 300 emails. So I just wonder, it worries me in that in this city, it worries me somewhat that he made that story what it was in some people's mind when that shouldn't have made the story.
Exactly.
It had great significance before, and there's if this is going on here, it's probably going on in other areas too, and I think that's a concern too.
Well, the other thing I would say about that is that's so noted too, because your press people, press representatives in government are going to take note of that, and they're going to say, you know what we do? Nothing. We don't respond, and by not responding, the story dies. And I see it, you see it, Kevin sees it, Eli sees it.
So I haven't gotten a response from them in a week on any questions.
The short answer there then is the sex appeal of the story was Ray Nagin. Yeah. I mean, you were blessed enough to have this TV star sell your story for you, basically.
I think so.
I think it had appeal, but I think he, I'll put it this way, the levy's not running a thing on this probably if Ray Nagin doesn't blame me for the recovery.
You're right.
Or everything. And James Gill, Stephanie Grace, Jarvis DeBerry, they've written a lot on this. They're probably not writing everything they've written if it wasn't for the mayor. And that is part of, his reaction is certainly part of the story.
Well, we wrote.
What's that?
We wrote because
exactly, yeah. His reaction is certainly part of the story. It says a lot about how the city's being run. It says a lot about the makeup of his staff and their philosophy of governing, I think. But there's also another side that's an important part of it as well.
I think you've got to answer David's question. If there's an emotional component to a story that strikes people at almost an id level, it's going to take off. That's why Noah was being discussed on the Spud show. That's why Eric Asher was talking about this party at the Ritz-Carlton, which, we have some fault for really playing that up. But, the notion of having this party on the penthouse of the Ritz-Carlton strikes a chord in people that probably a lot of really dry facts, but more serious facts about the school system don't. And then I have to wonder whose fault is that? Is that the public because they want to eat this stuff up? Or is it us for giving it to them?
I actually think that the Noah scandal was sexy enough without Ray Nagin that it was going to that it was going to make an impact. Now, whether that happened in 48 hours like it did, or whether it took an extra couple of weeks, what difference does it really make? The IG was going to get involved, the FBI was going to get involved just based on the facts, period. And it might have taken them an extra week to find out about it, but it's criminal. It's their job, and that's what happened. I think there are other issues though that do demand a different kind of telling to make them palatable, to help people connect to them on an emotional level. I don't think that's the story's fault. I don't think that's the fault of the facts. I think it falls on the writer to impart the importance of an issue that you're fleshing out to your reader. So I think the same thing could be done with the school facilities master plan, which is something that I care a lot about. And I've been writing about that a lot lately. And I think, I'm trying to flesh out different ways to make that resonate. And if it doesn't, I blame myself. I don't blame people.
I was going to add, in talking about Noah making it into, like, jumping from the blogosphere into the paper, on the TV. One of the first ways that I saw this transition happening was when David posted about it on the Gambit's blog. And I guess I wanted to have you guys, Kevin and David, talk a little bit about how working for how the Gambit's internet presence in this form of a blog has allowed the publication to interface with the blogosphere or with the public, or how has that generated news for you in a different way than it had before, I guess is what I'm asking?
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, for me, I love the intersection. I love the intersection between the blogosphere and journalism. And what's funny to me, by the way, is that alternative news weeklies are suddenly part of the mainstream media. Now, Lee Zurik probably won't say we are. But anyway, yeah, one thing I notice is that we can do, and my boss would probably agree with this, but we can do more daily type of reporting than we ever could before. We used to have to, there are certain editorial decisions where you have to say, we are not going to be the first ones. And, our answer was, we would try to be the better one. We would try, one of the things that I think the bread and butter of an alternative news weekly is story. We can spend more time. We have more column space to really flesh it out and get into it. But what I think the blog has allowed us to do is do some original daily reporting. And also, we can preempt a story, and we also can do post-story.
But I think also it allows you, someone like Clancy, who has a lot of knowledge of New Orleans and a lot of knowledge of the political scene, and you hear from him once a week in Gambit and whenever he's on our air, but it gives him more avenues. I think that's a great thing for the city, for people who read it, in that, someone who has valuable information and valuable insight and analysis, you get to hear from on more issues than you would hear before.
Oh, well, yeah, we know Clancy's been reborn as a blogger. I mean, I think people have been noticing that.
And didn't everybody in this room used to not like Clancy? Didn't I read some of that?
I still can't stand him.
And now he's wearing this blue Rising Tide t-shirt. I love it. He's converted.